Hiya.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Fringe Encounter stream between Grimgriz and Clarkaw. Live on a channel where people can find it. I'm sorry to anybody who's followed the link to the fake stream Claire perpetrated on us. It was actually
Sorry
streaming
about
on her
that.
other channel the whole time, but one of the most fascinating interviews you have never seen is available on the, I don't know, what was the name of that channel, Neutrino? Put it in the chat, somebody. That was a
Strictly
great,
local
great
noise.
interview, Claire. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I hope people find it, clip it, and bring it to everybody. It was delicious. Uh, as everybody here knows, I mean, I think your reputation as a villain around here is as heavy as a hero as mine is around here. So they're gonna know they're gonna need savings throws, and because of the stream we did over on your place, you know this procedure, but you get a fresh set. Everybody, survival, social, wisdom, or heart against the mind control of Claire Caw and Grimgrace here live on the After Dark stream. Choose, mother. All right, we have a 17, prime 17 for the survivalist. Claire, what'd you pick this time?
Oh, I would have chosen the same thing.
Wisdom again. All right.
Yes.
Socialists with a 16. Wisdom, the number of transformation. Watch yourself, Claire. Heart, also the number of transformation. Watch yourself, Grim. Indigo, kids. Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen. When the only time you ever get to see the indigo die is when it rolls in that 20, because theoretically you could then see that there was a beholder inside. Hi, beholder. But yes, a nat 20 for the indigo kids today. You're going to be fine. Welcome, Claire. Welcome. So
Hello.
nobody else has seen the interview we just did, but you and I are at a friendly, comfortable, and intimate place in the conversation, right?
Well, I certainly felt comfortable. I'm looking forward to the second part of our conversation, which is about mental illness.
Oh, right. I got to put up I need to put up the thumbnail for everybody that you didn't upload, even though I made it for you. Here we go.
Because it was on the wrong stream. Yeah. I'll fix
Bum,
that later.
bum. American Mental Illness with Claire Carr and Griswold Graham. Now, on the part people didn't watch when we began our discussion of mental illness, you did something remarkable, and I'd like to point it out, like, because like you referenced somebody else, okay, and what they thought, which happens all the time in this little corner. But like a pro, you inserted which I agree with as you did it, and I wanted to shout you out for that, because so many times when people in this corner reference other thinkers, they don't also endorse it, they just reference it, and I'm always like, well, what do you think, mother? But you at least bother to say that you agree with it, and I appreciate that. So but let's repeat that part. You agree with what about American mental illness?
I agree that a lot of it is caused by the lack of an official religion for America. And I think it was it was an omission, but it can be remedied. I don't, the founding fathers were doing, really quite radical things, and they might not have got it all done when they were around, and there were things that are probably systemic that is affecting how things are at the moment. The fact that you don't have an official religion, but everybody does have an official religion.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. So, first of all, your perception of the founding fathers, I think, is off because they were a member of a religion that was not the mainstream one, and they were ensuring that they would be allowed to practice it when they instilled what they did into the Constitution. However, and so that's why it's always been important to America not to have a religion. However, um, this does put you on my side, which is that the best hope for America is a constitutional amendment convention, because that's at the level where the problems need to be addressed. Plus, also, we have internet and uh, AI, which the founding fathers couldn't have even dreamed of to deal with. What do you think of the notion of a Fifth Amendment convention for America as someone living in England?
Fifth Amendment. That has something to do about not incriminating yourself, right?
Well, and that's one part of it, but another part is that the states are allowed to call, if 2/3 of the state legislatures, rather than the federal, initiate it, they can call a constitutional amendment convention to update the founding document of the country the way one might update the operating software of a computer.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yes.
And that's, I think, this is the only real hope for the country at the moment, is to update the operating software through a constitutional convention. So I push for people. I encourage people to have their state legislatures push for a constitutional convention. And
Yes.
and because of the way you said that, if the nation were to acquire a national religion, it would have to be through a constitutional convention, I think. I don't know. I understand you've been schooled in forms of law, so you'd probably better understand the technicalities of that than I.
Well, I think it would help if I studied law in America because obviously I didn't study, the ins and outs of your constitution, and what I managed to pick up is not complete. But I think basically, the constitution is your identity and your rule book. And but I'm saying you need more to it, and I'm saying it's been a terrible omission not to make the farewell speech of George Washington part of the Constitution, because it contains so much advice and warnings that are being completely ignored today.
The George Washington speech.
His
Fascinating.
farewell speech that is read out every February on Washington's birthday by a senator.
Hmm. I don't think I'm familiar. So I got to run branding every so often. It's a thing. Um,
Okay.
do you have any favorite quotes from that speech I haven't heard that you'd like to bring to us today?
I like the one that says, um, we must, with caution, indulge the supposition that morality can be maintained without religion.
We must indulge. Well, yeah.
We must, with caution, indulge the supposition that morality can be maintained without religion.
Yeah, that's the only way to give a country freedom of religion, I would think.
Well, I mean, the thing is, okay, it's been my thing to say that the First Amendment is actually from the Quran, chapter 2, verse 256,
Oh,
which says,
Americans are terrible, terrible thieves, Claire. Like, most of what we got is based off the Coyote Confederacy. But
okay, I don't know anything about that. But
so conveniently for you aligns that what's in the First Amendment says aligns with the Quran in certain areas. What areas are those?
okay, so I'm going to quote what it says in the Quran, and it says, there is no compulsion in belief. Truth stands clear from error.
Okay, so
So I'm saying it's the
There's
only.
agreement between like worldviews and approaches between two documents. How does that serve us in this situation?
Well, there's also a White House Quran, which belonged to Thomas Jefferson, who must be assumed to have read it, and he also drafted the Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom, which later became the First Amendment.
Well, wouldn't that make the argument that the American founders were syncretists and just stole the bits and pieces they liked from all sorts of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, fine. I'm not. I'm certainly not claiming that they were Muslims. I mean, in the sense that they said the Shahada or whatever. But I'm saying, it, obviously, it made an impression on Jefferson, who bought himself a copy of the Quran in 1765 when he was 22, when he was still a law student. So,
Yeah, we know
he,
how exploratory young males are in terms of belief and stuff. That makes perfect sense. Have you done any research into what they actually believed in the occultism of the founding fathers? I mean, if you're going to use them as
occultism.
a talking point, have you researched into what they actually believed, or are you just grabbing what's convenient for your purposes?
Well, I know the Masons. They were Masons, right? The founding fathers, and okay, I have my own theory about the Masons, which is that the Eastern religions are completely excluded, and the whole point of the Masons was to um, make it safe for Jews and Muslims to tell Christians that they are idolaters when it's safe for them to do so. In the context of the fraternal society.
See, that's why Christianity is better because I get to say, like, um, take the plank out your own eye, motherfucker. It, why? I mean, why are you pointing fingers at me, calling me things? What?
Well, because it's obviously idolatry, to worship anything that
Obviously, but
isn't God.
why are you calling me that? Don't you got
I'm not
better
calling
things to
you that.
do
I thought you
than
weren't even Christian.
no, no, no.
I
I'm
didn't
not.
know you were
No, no,
Mason
no, no.
either.
That me is not me. That's the general me. Why are you going around calling? Why are you like you said? The whole point was that it made it okay for them to call Christians idolaters. But like, what's the purpose of running around calling people things?
Well, because you're saying don't do it, and um,
Ah,
and, and, and I think even Christians know that they're not supposed to practice idolatry because we know they're familiar with the Ten Commandments, and they forbid idolatry and blasphemy,
okay, okay.
and
Okay, human to human, person who has lived decades on this planet, as person who has lived decades on this planet, like that on that level, I'm saying this next thing to you. Um, they LARP as Christians while they worship Set. They do some bullshit on Sunday, and then they go program themselves with what's normal by what comes out of the television or their phones. So calling them idolaters isn't going to do anybody any good. And
no, but I mean, okay, so
they're
idolatry
just
is make.
LARPing is my point. They're secularists LARPing as a religion. If you say, hey guys, this is a more I can serve my baser desires better by LARPing this other religion, but yours is stricter. It's not going to sell.
But what I'm saying is that Islam acknowledges the logic of your laws being in harmony with your chosen moral system. So the logic of Islam is this: if you believe in God and the whole story of him, creating the universe, revealing the Torah first to Jews, and then the Quran
Okay, so if
to
you believe
humanity.
in the Abrahamic God, say it
That's
that way.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you'd have to, the logic of the thing is, if you believe in that narrative, then you'll have to obey the laws, and your government will have to, make the laws of God the law of your land, and that's how you're supposed to live.
But belief can't be compulsory, and that's not the best story anymore.
Well, that verse about freedom of belief. It's like, okay, so you don't believe in God. All right, never mind. You still have to obey the law of the land. We're not going to force you to become Muslim. You can be whatever religion you are, but you have to obey, whatever the laws are. And you're looking here and you're looking there. But I mean, if you haven't read the Quran, you won't know. Like, oh, I really object to this law in the Quran, because or. But I
I,
think a lot of people haven't read the Quran and they wouldn't do it either. So they can't
I,
really say this law. I really object to it because of whatever reason.
yeah, yeah. I don't think the Abrahamic God story is viable in our
Why
present
not?
anymore. And I don't think people are. I think people are done with the old books because they don't address enough of our current issues. Um,
Well, they're not using the best available guide to humanity. The Torah is too harsh. It's so harsh that Jews themselves don't follow it. And as for the New Testament, it's not from God. It's from, some guys called Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Paul. So, that's not the word of God. It's just, it might not even be by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And anyway, who were they? Who were these guys? Paul never met Jesus.
all
And
right.
and
You're the one. You're one of the best people for me to tell this to. Um, all right. So it goes something like this. You're the Romans, right? And man, those Jews are inconvenient. But hey, like if you read their stuff, it says they got a Messiah coming. How about me, you, and that other guy get together and talk about that prophet who walked around 70 years ago and say he was their Messiah the whole time, and then like their religion's over, right? I mean, it's the same premise behind Project Bluebeam. Like if their religion has a Messiah, then you can fake the Messiah and tank their religion.
I don't quite know. It's like, yeah, prophets are human, they are mortal, they are fallible, and they live and they die. And as far as Islam's concerned, it's like it's the message. It's not the man. You're supposed to follow the book. So it doesn't matter if the prophet is no longer alive. You follow the laws of the book.
I follow the laws of my heart.
Well,
So technically, you're agnostic.
yes. Yes, because you can't really persuade somebody that God exists or doesn't exist if they're, determined to believe in it.
What do you make of
So,
those stories of like kids remembering their past lives and stuff?
well, I mean, it's unprovable, basically, reincarnation and all that. And and
Right, but what
and
do you make of it?
Well, it's possible. I suppose it's probably easier to believe than going to heaven or hell. But the whole idea of having an afterlife is that we will be accountable for our actions in this life, in our next life, and we're not supposed to think that we got away with it because maybe we killed people and nobody noticed, or that kind of thing. I guess.
Do
It's
you
like the
do you
whole
think
idea is
that?
God is watching and he knows everything.
Do you think that, like, since you're agnostic, you think that disappearing into nothing might not be what happens? And if not, do you think that you'll have some kind of life review over the choices you made while you were here?
Um, okay, I mean, obviously, I can't say anything about whether there is an afterlife or not, but
No, but
belief in the afterlife kind of stops us from doing all the things that maybe we want to do. So it acts as a moral restraint if we believe that we're going to be punished in the
well, yeah,
afterlife.
it helps. It's a like as no, if nothing else, it's a prop that assists in our own self discipline, and like the benefits of self discipline are evident. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and the other thing is that you can't deny that Jews have been around for a long, long time, and they were the ones who kickstarted the whole idea of divine scripture. and they were the first people who had it, and they're still around. And I
Oh,
suppose
okay.
the
All right. You want to talk about ancient history? Check this.
well,
Check
I'm just saying that without
this.
Judaism, there would be no Jews, and
It's
Christianity and
that
Islam
they're
are
smokes.
derived from
They've
Judaism.
always been a smoke screen for the pharaohs, Claire.
Well, the pharaohs are no longer
Oh,
around.
is that true, or is that
Mhm.
just because you can't see past the smoke screen?
Okay, well, you have a theory which you want to tell us. Yes.
Sure, sure. If you run a city, eventually your rule is going to be overthrown. So you invent this thing called middle management. And when the populations revolt, they revolt against the middle management, and then once the new middle management is installed, you manipulate them to your liking. The pharaohs are still around; they're still running things. We just, as people at this level, we're not in that knowledge compartment, so we don't get to see past that charade.
Okay. I really can't find your light, th- this stream. What is your other channel called?
It's called After Dark 4 4 something something. Give me a second.
Okay. I wanted to share and tweet it.
And tweet. Wow, you like me. She likes me, everybody. She likes me. Man, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Mhm.
Here, I'll put a link in the private chat of StreamYards for your convenience.
Okay. All right.
Hi, everybody. This is. All right, here, I'll give you. Make 30 seconds to pitch whatever you want. Ready, set, go.
Secular Coronism is a moral and legal political system which I recommend to Americans because they don't have an official religion. And because they don't have an official religion, they are at the mercy of their corrupt and incompetent ruling classes who make up the laws as they go along. And in order to protect themselves, they need a rule book, an official handbook, so that they will know when their legislature, i.e., Congress, are making laws that go against their official moral system, whatever it is. So now, if you asked
No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, no.
No, no, not at all.
No, no, no. Right?
No, I mean nobody sort of worries about the epistemic status of knowing.
No, no, no.
No, not that.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
That might not have been a full 30 seconds, Claire. If not, I apologize.
that's okay. That's an amusing little clip.
I do try to be entertaining for us virtually not alone. I did want to so guys, when I went over to Claire's place, I tried to run a clip on her stream and she wouldn't let me. However, I should have it somewhere in the Discord, and I will find it for you now. It's about it was from Paul Vanderklay's this today, yeah, and about there it is, the reign of Set and the virtually not alone. I was using this to define for Claire's audience who I was in service to with my project, and it's finally available to play. There we go.
World that we live in, which is saturated by media, our expectations are all calibrated by the bombarding of images. And you see this all the time in America. Everyone
That's the mind control I give savings throws against.
is beautiful. Everyone's life is great. back to the episode that I did on lonely people sitting in their bedroom, and they're just absorbing Instagram or YouTube, and they're just sure that everybody's life must be awesome and great, and they're being left out and they're being left behind, and this on a national scale.
And that's us here, where instead of just sitting alone, we've learned we can play together, build things, and extend our hand across the pond to people in England selling Quranism to America.
Well, there's no point selling it to the English because, well, the UK is just an American vassal state, and so is the rest of Europe. They just follow orders from Uncle Sam. So, and if he wanted to change anything, we'd have to ask for permission, or there would be regime change. So we might as well go to the top, and
The top is the pharaohs, darling. The top is the pharaohs.
that's you. The pharaohs were the empire, the imperialists, weren't they?
I'm out of gas, Claire, between the great interview over on your channel, which we should provide a link to, I suppose. Can you give me that link to our previous talk in the
I'm
private
trying
chat?
to find it. Okay. Right, here it is.
This is Iggy.
And it's got the wrong title at the moment, I'm sorry, but okay.
The title
It's got the wrong
amusingly
title, it's got the
delivers,
wrong
I think.
channel. I was obviously referring to Shari Suter, who hates me and called me the behemoth, the
I thought you
adversary, and the snake in the garden,
I did not know that Sherry talked so much about you, Claire. That's news to me. I was
You was
hoping
in
it
the
meant
same
that you
stream
had
that you were on.
Oh, I can't see bad things about Sherry. I love her too much. I couldn't see her behaving in such a manner. I couldn't perceive it. Blinded, willfully ignorant to the sins of Sherry. So yeah, I have a limited duration in my performance ability.
Do you have anything you want to say in conclusion?
No, I think I've said most of what I want to say, other than, well, you haven't got a better idea. None of you have a better idea. You just want to hate on secular Quranism, and I just think it should be more grown up than that.
Well, we do have Peter Pan syndrome. Thanks for being here, Claire. I'm going to close without you. Hey, everybody. Thanks. The talk with me on her channel is great, but I think you're going to have to see it before it gets stricken because it's a great talk. So I don't know that I'd subscribe over there, but and if you're not familiar with I hope this was at least entertaining. And especially since this is the off channel, don't forget to like, share, and comment and stuff.